Hello, I'm Philip, and welcome to Château Avensac. Currently, I am sitting in the front courtyard, and behind me are the windows for the hall d'entrée, or the entrance hall. And today, we're going to go and explore the hall d'entrée of the Chateau. This is the main entrance of the Chateau, which of course enters into the hall d'entrée. Welcome to the hall d'entrée. This would be the very first room that visitors to the Chateau would see, and it really was designed to impress. With the red and black marble floor, the grand staircase, and these really magnificent arches, which are mimicked on the other side of the hall d'entrée, with doors to the dining room and the niche in the middle. Presiding over the hall is this portrait of the Count of Pouilly. This is the man who built this house in 1820, and he remains today approving and maybe disapproving of the visitors coming to the Chateau. Currently, there's a lot of furniture in the hall because we have just started renovations in the Chateau, and various bits of furniture have come here to live while some of those renovations are going on. And it's actually a constant flux of things being left here, boxes and whatnot, that's constantly shuffling around. One of the interesting things to note about this room, and in the future that we'll see in some of the other principal rooms on the ground floor, is this wainscoting that surrounds this room. We believe that this actually may not be original to the Chateau, or original to when it was built in the 1820, and nor were some of the more decorative moldings on the doors in this hall, which are also found in the other principal rooms of the Chateau. In renovating the dining room, which is next door, and removing some of the decorative trim, we have found painted woodwork of a much simpler design. And the dining room, which also has the same wainscoting, had wallpaper and other finishes behind it. So we can see that there's a history of changes that have been happening to the house. And it's really believed, and this is just speculation, that towards the end of the 19th century, maybe 1880s, 1890s, that there was a remodeling done in the Chateau, and that's when this more decorative trim work was added to this room and several other rooms in the Chateau. Interesting thing about the wainscoting is that this is really just a wood frame, and this is the original plaster wall behind. So this is not a wood panel, but just they built the wood frame, painted it all out to create this effect. And in the front of the house, we find the same thing. I don't know what I'm talking about. In some other parts of the house, in fact, in the dining room, the front panels were replaced with wood, presumably because of, this is just not working out at all. This is not working at all. What am I talking about? Okay, we'll have to cut all this. I'll go back to the wainscoting where I was knocking on it, demonstrating wood versus plaster. Some of the furnishings in this room are from the Chateau when we bought it. For example, this bench and the two chairs that are on either side, and this table, which was not in the hall d'entrée, but was in a room upstairs, as well as the armoire over here, and this piano. Other furniture in the hall comes from stuff we picked up recently for use in other rooms. And for example, this table will eventually become the main dining table for the kitchen. And under the mysterious drapes is a work table that will also go in the kitchen. On top of this table, I have a pair, the other one is just under that cloth, a pair of lanterns. One of them will be put above the staircase to replace the rather small and diminutive fixture that's here right now. It really is calling for something a little bit grander. And the other one will go in the center of the main entrance hall as a pair. You'll notice that on either side of the staircase, there is a passage going into the wing of the house. The one on the left, this is really a passage meant for staff or servants And as you can see, it goes into a back hallway with a servant staircase. Next to this is what we like to refer to as the children's room. It is rather comfy and cozy for all the children visitors to the chateau. We can simply put them in here and lock them away and not have to worry about them throwing chunks of raw chicken in to feed them every so often and keep them well nourished. However, currently we are using it for some wine storage, and you can see that this is under the stairs. At some point, we will dig down a little bit to see if there's any secrets down there. It has the feel of descending somewhere dark and dank. What's also interesting about this is the fact that the staircase is in fact cement. And so this was a rather unusual use of materials for building stairs. And it really makes us wonder if the staircase is original to the 1820 or the early 19th century build of this chateau, or if this was something as part of the remodel that was done in the late 19th century. So who knows? Some exploration and research work will need to be done. I think children would be quite happy in that room. We're going to call it the Harry Potter room, and what child wouldn't want to live there? On the other side of the staircase is a passage that goes to the wing. And this really goes to just a series of bedrooms, which we'll explore in future videos. On the other side of the entrance hall is the dining room. There's actually a pair of doors, one on the left over here, and one behind the clock. So this door behind the clock was actually sealed up. We've unsealed it since, but we've left the clock there, so it's still not very usable at the moment. I'm just gonna give you a glimpse going into the dining room. The other door, going straight back from the front door, is the door to the salle de billard, or the billiard room. And in fact, we're actually going to move the billiard table and give you a glimpse into there. We are going to move the billiard table to another room upstairs, which is going to require several strong people. And we're changing this to what we're going to call the salle de réception, or a reception room. And the shutter doors behind go out onto the back terrace. So with these two rooms, the hall, the entrance hall and the reception room, you'll be able to enter the chateau from the front door and see straight through to the back terrace, which will give it lots of light and really create great views of the from the back terrace. One other piece of furniture I want to mention in the entrance hall is this mirror. The chateau has several really amazing mirrors, and this is just really one of them. This is one of the really beautiful mirrors that are in the chateau. And here it is in the entrance hall. And we'll go up the stairs just a little bit to see, it's difficult to get a good angle on this, to see this painting. This is painted on canvas. It is mounted permanently to the wall in its frame. It's not hanging. And so it was here as part of the chateau. And it's believed that it might have been a design for a tapestry. It has a very tapestry-like look to it. But it's just speculation, so we don't really know. And there is a signature and a date, which is, I think it says 86 or 84. H.B. Bremont. So we will need to do some research about H.B. Bremont to find out if there's more information about the artist and about the painting itself. All right, I am walking backwards up the stairs. Forgive me here. So try and get a better view of it. There we go. Well, I hope you enjoyed the tour of the hall d'entrée, or the entrance hall. And if you have any comments about what you've seen, about what's in the entrance hall, about what we're doing, if there's something I mentioned that you want to know more about, if there's something I didn't mention that you're like, what the hell is that? Let us know in the comments. We'd love to get some feedback. And now, let's move on to the salle de billard, which will later become the salle de réception. You know what? That's for the next video.